Happy Saturday. We're back. And a special little shout out to Tyler of Port Charlotte.
What's up?
Hey there. Hi. Okay. So getting right into it. Many of us know about the RMS Titanic and its sinking on its maiden voyage on April 14th, 1912. After striking an iceberg, with an estimated 1,500 losing their lives in the icy waters of the North Atlantic Ocean. Those that ended up in the water alive would have succumbed to hypothermia in a matter of minutes. The Titanic Museum in Tennessee actually has a basin of water that's set to the same temperature the water would have been that night, and you can touch it and stuff, and it's shockingly cold. Yeah, so you just get the experience of what the water would have been like on the tragic night of the sinking. Much like the remains of the people that lost their lives, the iceberg itself has since melted and is gone now, which is wild. While survivors were taken to New York, Halifax was the closest major port to the disaster site, and it became the center for recovering and burying the deceased.
Well, the White Star Line chartered several ships to retrieve bodies. Of the 328 bodies recovered, 150 were buried in Halifax, making it the largest Titanic burial site in the world. Many of them rest in Fairview Lawn Cemetery, known for its curved rows of tombstones that eerily resemble the ship's hull. Some bodies were never identified, but the famous unknown child was later identified through DNA as 19-month-old Sidney Goodwin. So that's one baby that was identified through DNA analysis, I guess.
It's so sad.
Yeah, that is.
It's very, very sad. That whole family was lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was several children. There's the mother, father, and several children that they lost the whole family.
Wow, it's horrible.
Very sad. You can find a picture of the whole family. Ghost stories from Halifax revolving around the Titanic survivors are plentiful. The Five Fishermen restaurant was once the mortuary that handled the Titanic victims, and that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I hear the restaurant's fantastic, but it's just...
Yeah, I hope they clean the place up.
Oh, I'm sure they clean it's considered one of the most haunted places in Halifax, actually. Staff and patrons report flickering lights, objects moving on their own, and ghostly apparitions, including a mysterious woman in old-fashioned clothing. Employees have reported unsettling incidences such as cutlery moving on its own, glasses being thrown from shelves, which is scary, and hearing disembodied voices calling for help. That's so sad. Shadowy figures have been observed rushing across the dining room in a misty gray shape that has been seen descending the central staircase, kind of like the grand staircase.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also an old man's reflection that shows up in the barroom mirror.
Oh, yeah, it's like that they have to relive their moment of their death over and over,
Well, the old man in the bar, I wonder if it's not reliving the moment of their death, but reliving being on the Titanic, and maybe he was a bit of a lush, that old man.
I don't know. We don't know. The restaurant's manager recounted an experience after a busy night. While alone in the upstairs office around 2 a.m., he heard repetitive knocking sounds but couldn't locate the source. A 12-year-old girl from a family dining at the restaurant reported seeing a young female apparition drifting over the staircase. This account is
drifting over it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
This account is consistent with other sightings of a similar figure. So
she's been seeing this hovering over this. That's weird.
Yeah.
Visitors have reported shadowy figures near the Titanic graves. At Fairview Lawn Cemetery, feelings of intense sorrow and even disembodied voices, especially near the grave of Sidney Goodwin, the formerly unknown child.
Right. It's weird.
Didn't you say before that it was probably his mom?
Yeah, it's probably his mom that,
That's really sad.
It's weird how they, transfer from where they died in the water to where they're buried. Well, you know what I'm saying?
They're staying
they followed their body.
Yeah, they're staying with their body.
I mean, is that what happens when you die? You follow your body? Because most people get
That's what's generally believed.
Right?
Either
so
not really.
Horrible.
Well, if you believe in the show Supernatural, cremating the body would make the spirits stop.
Yeah, it's true.
Unless they're attached to an object or a place.
That's fake, honey.
But a lot of people do believe them. They
Right, yeah. Not directly related to the Titanic, but because it was used during recovery efforts, some believe the Halifax Citadel's many ghost sightings include spirits tied to the disaster. That's like what I'm saying, like, I guess the ghosts, like, moved from where they drowned to the Citadel? I don't know.
For the most part, the Titanic spirits that you hear about are tied to artifacts from the Titanic.
Right, so they're tied to objects. Also,
right.
The Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, which houses Titanic artifacts, including a mortuary bag and deck chair from the ship. People have reported cold spots, eerie feelings, and even whispers when near the relics. Titanic related disasters are only tied to Halifax, though. There are several...
Aren't only tied to Halifax.
Right. There are several Titanic exhibitions around the world. In Las Vegas, Nevada, the Grand Staircase features recovered artifacts. People have reported ghostly figures in period clothing near the reconstructed Grand Staircase, sometimes mistaking them for actors, only for them to vanish. That would be really cool, actually. I want to go see that.
It's kind of crazy, too. They're so solid in form. You know what I mean?
Right.
That they're like, oh, that's an actor, and then they vanish. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's
that
creepy. I'd love to see that, actually.
That'd be wild to see. You're like, I'd love to see that. I'm like, I won't go. At the Titanic Quarter in Belfast, where the ship was built, people have reported seeing a spectral figure that they believe to be Captain Edward Smith. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's...
The actor that played him in the Titanic movie looks so much like him. It's eerie.
Oh, really?
They did such a good job casting him. It'd be weird to see. Shadow figures have also been spotted wandering the dry dock. The Titanic Memorial Lighthouse in New York City was originally placed on top of the Seamen's Church Institute in 1913 and was dedicated to the Titanic victims. And some people claim to see ghostly figures near the site.
Oh, yeah.
While others report hearing faint echoes of distress calls, which is sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Also, the RMS Queen Mary also has Titanic ties. And a lot of people believe that the Titanic spirits are drawn to it because it's so similar to the Titanic in build and design. Multiple guests and paranormal investigators have claimed to hear voices calling for help or reliving the drowning sensation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it is sad. That's what I'm saying. It's sad that they have to relive that. Whenever Titanic artifacts or victims remains are located, ghostly activity seems to follow. Although it sunk over a century ago now, its legacy is far from buried. From the windswept graveyards of Halifax to the glitzy halls of Las Vegas, from the docks of Belfast to the corridors of the Queen Mary, whispers of the past refuse to be silenced. Whether it's the restless spirits of those lost at sea, the lingering echoes of tragedy imprinted on artifacts, or something even more unexplainable, one thing is certain: the ghosts of the Titanic have never truly gone down with the ship. And I would say, I'm sorry, I had a tooth pulled and I'm still having a hard time talking.
He'll get there.
That's
it's all
why
right.
I keep mispronouncing things.
You're fine.
Didn't you have relatives on the Titanic?
They weren't on the Titanic. My great-grandparents on my dad's side, my grandfather's side, were supposed to come over from Ireland on the Titanic. And they were like, the poor Irish class.
Guys, yeah.
So they certainly wouldn't have made it.
Well, I'm glad they didn't take the Titanic.
Well, apparently they were just late to catching it.
Oh.
And my great-grandmother was not thrilled that they missed it, because that was to her, it was their big chance, to start anew and the new land and all that.
She was fashionably late, just like you are all the time. Perfect.
But they did. What's really cool, though, is we did end up getting a photocopy of their signatures on Ellis Island. So they still made it just later and didn't go down with the ship.
Oh, yeah. My relatives, my great-grandfather had to come in through South America somehow because he couldn't get in through Ellis Island.
And he was Italian.
They're like, get out of here, you stupid Italian. He was like, I like a pasta.
Which means our great grandparents would not be happy about
No,
us.
they wouldn't.
They'd be like, ew,
Yeah.
guys,
That's okay. I like potatoes now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Meat and
until
potatoes.
next time, we
You
will
guys
see you
have
later.
a good one and be safe and make good choices and
Bye.
stay spooky. Bye.